This is Elroy Hill, President of the Virgin Islands Softball Federation, and you're listening to VIOC in Action.
Hi, this is Cy Thompson, laser sailor for Team ISV, and you're listening to VIOC in Action.
This is your high hurdle specialist, Eddie Lovett, for Team VI, and you're tuned in to VIOC in Action.
Hi, this is Laverne Jones for Virgin Islands 4-time Olympian and 6th fastest female in the 60-meter history. Tune in to VIOC in Action to learn about athletes and what motivates us. Remember, teamwork make the dream work.
All right, greetings and welcome to another VIOC in Action. This is your host, Athneil Bobby Thompson. I have a great show for you today, and this show is going to be all about the VIOC. We're going to give you all the information you need about the VIOC on this show, as we have the in-house expert on VIOC in-house with us. But before we get to that, you know I start all my shows the right way, and the right way is to give thanks. And I want to give thanks to each and every one of you out there listening to VIOC in Action. I do appreciate you tuning in, and I love the fact that I get a lot of feedback when I go out there about the show. So thank you for tuning in. And also thank you to those of you who are in support of the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee. We would never be able to do what we do without your support. And on behalf of President Angel Chico Morales and the rest of the executive board, I want to extend my appreciation for your support of the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you want to get on board, you want to show your appreciation for all of our fantastic athletes, for all of our member federations, and for the Olympic Committee, you can feel free to do so, and I will give you a couple ways in which you can do that. You can just write us a big fat check, send it in. We'll take it for sure. You will have no arguments there at all. But if you want to do it, let me say the normal way, just the gradual way, the small sign of appreciation, you can get yourself the official Team Virgin Islands license plate. That's right, a license plate for your vehicle. I mean, to me, it just looks like a fine suit. Every man should have a nice Navy suit. So every person should have a nice Navy outfit. It is across the board acceptable and always appropriate. And imagine you hit that Navy suit, you put it on. And that's what the license plate is. It's Navy. So you're already winning. And then you put a nice crisp white shirt with that Navy outfit. Hey, well, we have nice crisp white letters. All the big letters that identify your plate is nice, crisp, and white. So we're off to a good start. We're getting this suit put together, and you have to, of course, put your leathers with your suit. So when you have your Navy suit and your white shirt, you need leathers. We're going to take it brown, right? But in this case, on the plate, we're going to do gold, baby. We're going to do it right. Top center, bottom center. Top center, it says Virgin Islands of the United States in bright gold. And in the bottom center, it says proud supporter. So it lets everyone know who you are supporting in your fancy suit. So there's your nice gold tie and your nice bright brown leather shoes. So we're putting this suit together now. We have the suit, we have the crisp white shirt, and we have the tie, the belt, and the shoes in the gold. But we have to give you that pocket square that is just going to set it off. For the men or the ladies, a nice brooch. What is that brooch? On the left-hand side, we have our beautiful abstract symbol, logo for the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee. All the colors that you will find every day when you are here in the beautiful Virgin Islands. Right under the logo, we have the words Team Virgin Islands. That's right, Team Virgin Islands. Which team? Well, right beneath that shows you the Olympic rings, and that lets you know all teams for the Virgin Islands. So that is your complete outfit for your vehicle. Navy plate, white letters, gold indication of who you're supporting, as well as our logo that stands out perfectly. And for this fantastic item for your vehicle, it's just a cost of $100. Just $100, And that money goes to the VIOC. But let me tell you, all, not some, not a percentage, all proceeds go to the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee. And you can rest assured that your dollars are going the right place because the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee is a non-profit 501c3 organization. And you can feel secure that, this tax-exempt organization will put your money in the right places because all of our funding goes towards promoting Olympic values and the elite athletes in the Virgin Islands. That is right. So we would appreciate when you take your hard-earned $100 and put it towards the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm seeing a lot of plates out there with the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee played on there, a lot of vehicles, and I love it. Please keep it going. Get your say. Hey, and the good news is our plates don't expire. You could keep that on your vehicle going forward. It does not expire. It does not have to change year to year or whenever they change the general plate. You don't have to change yours. You could keep your plate knowing that it's practically a family heirloom when you get it because it is going to be valuable knowing that you are hanging on to this awesome plate. And we thank you in advance for your purchase. And for those of you that already have it, thank you, thank you, thank you. But we have another way that you could support the VIOC. And let me tell you something. Our annual golf tournament is right around the corner. It is June 4th, Sunday, June 4th. The Scramble to San Salvador, the annual VIOC golf tournament. And that's right, you are invited to participate. Let me tell you, sign up early. We only have a limited number of teams that could get on the course because we don't want traffic all out on the highways. So we want to be able to have a fantastic tournament. Sign up early. If you want to get in on the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee annual VIOC golf tournament, the Scramble to San Salvador, it's a 4-person scramble. $125 per person, $500 for a team. To sign up, you can call 340-712-2144. That's 340-712-2144. Call now and reserve your spot. Remember the date, June 4th, Sunday, 2023, on St. Croix at the Buccaneer Hotel. Listen, we're going to be teeing off at 9 a.m., so get there 7 so you could do all the signing up and all the stretching, get nice and limber for the course, get you a little breakfast pastry before you hit the course and get going. So make sure you are there. If you are not a golfer but you want to support the event, yes, you can do that, and we would absolutely appreciate your support. So all you have to do is say, you know what, how can I support this golf tournament? Well, you could, do things and say, all right, man, let me just be a whole sponsor, right? I'm going to put $250 for my company, my organization, and at a hole, you're going to see your sign there, and everyone that comes to that hole is going to see your sign and say, hey, this company's a really great company. They're supporting the VIOC. I'm with them. So you can do that, or you could donate even to a raffle, and whatever prize you donate, we will draw the raffle, and some lucky golfer would get that on June 4th for the tournament. But if you want to step up and really show that you know that the VIOC is a very worthy organization and you want to put your money where your mouth is, you can step up and be a brand sponsor. That's right, for $2,000. That's a whole sponsorship. You get 2 golfers entry free. You would also get a banner bearing your company name at the tournament, all kinds of social media recognition, and I will run my mouth about you until the tournament comes and goes. You better believe that. Brand recognition throughout the tournament as well for your brand sponsorship of $2,000. But if you want to do better than bronze, you're like, man, I'm no bronze athlete. I am a silver athlete. So you're going to step up and say, hey, I'm going to give $4,000 to be a silver sponsor for the Scramble to San Salvador. Oh, yeah? Well, cool. That will give you 2 whole sponsorships. And you would also get 2 golfers' entries fees completely covered. Then you could put a big, large banner bearing your company name at the tournament, social media recognition, and of course, brand recognition throughout the tournament. and me, that's right, running my mouth about your contribution. But if you want to be the big dog, you want to step up and say, hey, I'm going to let everyone know how much I support the VIOC. I'm going to go for the gold. Well, a gold sponsorship is only $6,000. That's right, $6,000. And you can get a lead spot in all tournament publicity. You're going to get your name as the lead sponsor on all holes at the tournament. Then not one, not two, but an entire team, 4 golfers, their entrance will be covered for the tournament. And of course, the social media recognition, the brand recognition throughout the tournament. And I will be singing your praises until the tournament has come and gone. So this is your opportunity to support the VIOC with the annual VIOC Golf Tournament, the Scramble to San Salvador, taking place on Sunday, June 4th, 2023. So jump on board. Now is a great time. But we're going to get back to the show as we take our first break and be back with the guru of everything, VIOC, Brigitte Berry. We'll be right back.
You are listening to VIOC in action.
Hi, this is Adrian Durant, coach for the VI National Track and Field Team. Set your goals and work hard to achieve them. Believe in yourself, and anything is possible. Tune into VIOC in action to learn how you can take your game to the next level. And remember, if it's to be, it's up to me.
Hi, this is Tim Pitts, 2004 Olympic sailor for the Virgin Islands, sailing the laser class on VIOC in action.
This is Mr. One Time for the One Time, Leon Hunt, long jump record holder for Team VI. Thank you for logging on to VIOC in action.
All righty, and welcome back to VIOC in action. This is your host, Athneil Bobby Thomas, and we have a special guest in studio. As I said before, the guru of any and everything concerning VIOC, Ms. Brigitte Berry. Brigitte, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Good morning. Or good afternoon.
This is your first for 2023, so we probably need a follow-up, right?
If you insist.
Yes. So how are things with VIOC?
Oh, man. So first I have to congratulate you and the rest of the Softball Federation because you guys did an outstanding job.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was a lot of hard work, but it was so much fun seeing the crowds there enjoying the games.
It was fun being in the crowd.
Yeah, and the athletes just having a good time. Man, it was really worth it. Really worth it.
And the DJ did a great job.
Yeah, we really want to thank everyone that came out and supported the tournament. It was great.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that event to the Virgin Islands. That is really, really impressive.
What Brigitte is referring to is from March 1st to the 5th, 2023, on the island of St. John, nonetheless. In Cruise Bay, we had the 2023 English Caribbean Amateur Softball Confederation Women's Qualifier, and the winner from that tournament gets to go to San Salvador for the 2023 CSC Games. And the winner, as we will have to congratulate Curaçao, as they won gold. The USVI team won silver, and Aruba placed third for the bronze.
I have to say, I haven't watched a softball game probably since I was in high school. And those pitchers.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I didn't know that it was such a quick game.
Oh, yes.
Like, I had no idea. I was on the opposite side of the fence when they were just doing some warm-ups, and I was like, oh, my God. All of these women are so brave.
Yeah, it's a great game. I love it.
No, that was impressive. And I think a really good lead-up. So I think people don't really understand how the game cycle works. So
Correct.
I get the question all the time, wait, that's a full-time job? It's like, yes, it might be a little
They
more
have
than
no
a full-time
idea.
job. So we operate on a quadriennial. This is a 4-year cycle, right. And everybody hears about the Summer Olympic Games.
Right.
Now, what you're not hearing as much, if you read the back of the newspaper, you do get that information. But we go, regional games, qualifiers, like the event that softball just
Correct.
hosted. to go to the Central American and Caribbean Games.
Correct. And then after that.
So, and that's Mexico, that's Guatemala,
Correct.
that's Cuba, that's Trinidad. Like, this is a pretty
It's huge.
playing circle.
Oh, yes.
And, in the past, we've brought basketball teams there, track and field, sailing, swimmers. We bring Virgin Islanders to these games, and they're hosted so far throughout Central America, but sometimes it's Caribbean locations as well. I know in the past they've even hosted in Cuba. And so we're taking teams from here or when they're in college from states and bringing them all there together to compete under our flag,
Correct.
which is incredible.
And I was listening on social media the other day, and I heard a former NBA player from the Virgin Islands mentioning the fact that he was at the CSC games in Maracaibo in '98.
Yep.
And that's what's his name? He played Rajabel.
Okay.
So it has that impact. It's a powerful tournament that we attend in the CSC games.
Yeah,
Right.
it really is. And that is a lead up to our next games, which is the Pan American Games.
Correct.
And that is all of the Americas. And these games happen all over the world. You hear about the European Games, the Asian Games, the African Games.
Oceanic.
Exactly. But these are the Pan American Games.
Correct.
So that's also Canada, the USA, Argentina, Brazil. This is a big deal. So the CEC goes to Pan American, and then Pan American, often those events are qualifiers or events that give you points towards qualifying for the Olympic Games. So it all leads up. So every 4 years we have this cycle, and then add in some youth games. I know. You're like, what?
Yeah. I didn't even think of that because that's an addition to the regular schedule.
And you know what? I love it.
Yeah.
It's a lot more work because you're coordinating younger people, so you have to speak with parents and guardians, and it's you have to work with like their schools, but also giving young Virgin Islanders the opportunity to travel and to compete for the Virgin Islands. It makes me so happy. So I don't, people are like, did we win medals at the Olympic Games? And I'm like, you guys, we have so many more things that happen within these 4 years that are honestly sometimes just as important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all of that happens within 4 years, except we had COVID.
Except COVID just threw everything. So it takes the 4-year period that you normally have and squeezes everything into 3.5 years almost.
Look, I am looking at my work schedule going, cool, so when am I supposed to sleep? Because the office, the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee office, is responsible for all registration for all of those games, for all of the sports that we compete in. And that includes everybody who could make it, all the way down to that final cut. And there's lots and lots of paperwork and forms and letters and everything in between. And we also are looking at the Bali Beach Games. I don't know if anybody told you about that, Bobby.
No. I didn't hear about that.
So these are worldwide beach games. A lot of beach sports are up and coming. So beach wrestling, beach soccer, beach tennis.
We had like a Caribbean beach games the other day, right?
We had recently. A youth Caribbean.
Youth, okay, there you go.
And that was in Guadeloupe last, oh my goodness, my poor brain, October, November? Yeah. People are like, Brigitte, you've done all the work for that. I was like, I
kind of just mixes together, yeah.
Let me open my email, I found it. But... Yeah, and so open water swimming is another up-and-coming sport that we have athletes in. So we are looking at hopefully a beach volleyball team in Bali. I think that's in the fall. So we have a lot of stuff going on. So how does an athlete get into one of these games? Often people think that, let's take a sport that is a little niche, table tennis. Bobby, you are the best table tennis player in the Virgin Islands. Okay, so nobody else is going for us. So, of course, you get a spot at whatever games, right?
I can't. No,
absolutely not.
No.
Even if you are world-ranked table tennis player, I can tell you right now you are probably not going to those games.
Correct.
And there's a few reasons why. We don't have a table tennis federation.
And
people are like, they will call me and they'll be like, I run like this. And I'm like, I don't know if that's good or not. So the office, the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee doesn't really sit there and like judge or determine whether or not your athletic ability is up to par. That is the federation's job.
That's the federation's job.
Exactly. So our Virgin Islands Soccer Federation, and everybody knows about them. Everybody pays attention to their events at their very nice field in St. Croix. They are the ones in charge of soccer in the Virgin Islands. They are the ones when we want to, where we're looking at games and soccer is eligible to attend. I call soccer and I go, hey, do you guys have a team for this? Are you guys prepared for this?
Correct.
Do you guys have people who are compliant with all of the rules within soccer, within, all of the doping, the residency, the, Virgin Islands birth certificate, all of that? And then they go, yes, Brigitte, we have that. And then they send me the information. At no point do I go around picking out soccer players. And you don't want me to. We have 25 sport federations. We should not be in charge of deciding that.
Right.
So, because table tennis has no federation,
we can't.
You're not. Sorry, Bobby, you're not going anywhere as a
anyone.
Virgin Islands tennis not for those games.
So, how involved is it to establish a federation?
I have I think a checklist of 15 things.
Okay.
So each federation is its own individual entity and nonprofit.
Okay.
So you have to get recognized by International Table Tennis to be the Virgin Islands Table Tennis Federation. And then you have to take care of your nonprofit status. You have to have board members. You have to show us that you're not just doing this for yourself, Bobby.
Right,
you need an outreach program. I need to talk about your board members on St. Thomas and St. Croix.
Correct.
We don't want, sport to be just accessible to one island. So, and then when you have all of that together, then you get to email me a lot. And then you apply to the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee for membership.
Right.
And that can be a lot of back and forth, just having one
As
word
it should
off.
Be. As it should be,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
It should be. It's not, people look at sports as games, and there's nothing about it that's a game. This is serious. This is world respected when you get involved at this level. If you decide you want to be a federation in the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee, under the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee umbrella, understand that's the exact same as saying you want to be a federation in the United States Olympic Committee, one of the federations on the United States Olympic Committee. It's the exact same. So you have these exact same standards.
Yep. And so sometimes people come here and they're like, oh, well, the Virgin Islands doesn't do things the right way. That's very nice that you feel that way. However, in this world, we have to do things the right way, because when we go out there and compete, we're not looking around at, oh, well, that officer doesn't write tickets for this area so I can park where I want. No, we are looking at Team Venezuela has to adhere to the same rules as, Team Uganda, as Team Australia. We do not get to Mickey Mouse this all together.
Exactly.
So say you're an athlete for a sport that we do have a federation for. All right. Say you are what would your track and field event be?
Mine?
Yeah.
Shot put, probably. Or a hammer throw, something like that.
We've had some really great shot put
We've had
athletes.
some great shot put
All
athletes.
right, so Bobby Thomas, you are now the number 1 rated shot put athlete in the Virgin Islands. What do you have to do? You need to talk to track and field. Okay, you need to do their competition. Every federation has different membership rules.
Correct.
Some of them have fees, some of them don't. Some of them have a lot of paperwork, some of them have less. There are different rules on what it takes to be a Virgin Islander at their level. So they could say, hey, you've lived here for a year. You can prove that via taxes and all of that. You can compete for us. But then what happens when you call me? I say, no, you have to be here for 3 years.
3 years, correct. 3 years. So it's not walking off the street, say, hey, I'm part of the VIOC. No. Because, and people wonder why those rules are in place. Because there are penalties if you don't follow the rules,
Yes, I've had, I think it was a team sport, and I can't remember which team sport, but they were at a games, and I got a call, and they were like, we need to prove how every single team member qualifies as a Virgin Islander.
Correct.
And sometimes it's easy. You know, you have your passport with you. It says born in the Virgin Islands. Easy, done.
Easy.
Sometimes it's going, hey, Mom, I need your birth certificate.
Correct.
And then, or it's the residency, which is a little trickier. So we tell people, you know, stick to the rules of like if you have to prove your residency to the IRB. Yeah. So all of that has to come into play. And then you also have to follow whatever those federation rules are. If they say, hey, you know, and actually a lot of the times it's the International Federation. So sometimes they'll go, okay, you want to compete in Paris? You have to go to these World Game events. You don't make it to that World Game event, you have something else going on, you were sick, whatever, then you've missed your window to even try to qualify for that game.
And I try to express it. It is serious when you're doing these world-class events. All these elite athletes, they're not elite by mistake. It's investing of years planning of investing to get to certain levels. So, you know, it's not just a happenstance kind of thing.
I also have to give a little shout out to the people who support our teams. Very rarely do I have an athlete who is an island, okay? You have your federation supporting you. You have your coach supporting you. A lot of our athletes have their parents supporting them, their families, their partners, their kids. It is really a team effort to get an athlete to Olympic level and even CAC games. I've never, there's nothing I could ever compete in at any of these levels. And it is incredible to work with people who can and do and then exceed them. So what if you were a team sport person? What would be your team sport, Bobby? Not softball. You have to pick another one. You've talked enough about softball.
Baseball? Okay.
Oh, no, baseball's fine.
Yeah, I played baseball for the Virgin Islands in '98.
Where'd you go?
Maracaibo, Venezuela.
Ah, that must have been incredible.
It was great.
How'd you guys do?
We got a lot of licks. But, you know, though the team didn't win any medals there, we won because two of our athletes were actually drafted to the major leagues, to the minor leagues.
Exactly.
I mean, that was the biggest thing ever. You know, two of our guys were in the minor leagues shortly after that. That was great. That was Terry Byron and McKeel Rogers.
We, as a country, are so incredibly talented. You know, we continuously impress me. And when we look at our stats compared to other places per capita, we're athletic humans.
Yes, we are.
I mean, I'm not. I'm very good at this paperwork.
We are amazing.
But you, Virgin Islands, are athletic humans. So the tricky thing about team sports is you need... How many people are on that baseball team?
I think it was almost like 25. It was a big roster.
You need 25 other people who are going to show up for practice, who are going to take the time to go to the games. These are not... Nobody's getting paid to go to any of these games. Okay, so when you see people traveling, getting on those planes, doing all of that, they're flying economy. They're not getting paid during that time. You know, they are giving their time, energy, and hard work in order to represent us abroad. But then you need 25 other people who are willing to do that.
Yep.
And that's hard. You know, team sports are really, really impressive. But then also, our athletes get into colleges on sports scholarships. Like your teammates.
That's what even with softball, that's like a key part of the federation is to start these girls young enough, get them good enough so when they're seniors in high school, a university can pick them up, further refine them, and improve them for Team ISV. You know? So it's part of the plan.
And some people may be like, using the United States education system to prep your athletes is disingenuous, but like pay better attention during the athlete walk-ins in the future, because during the March of Countries for opening ceremonies, you get the stories of, you know,
which university
so-and-so from Team Kenya who's at University of New Mexico.
Even like Usain Bolt, he did his college in the U.S. mainland. So, you know, the best in the world, they go to that level where they could get the best training, the best education, and the best treatment. Again, these are elite athletes. These are elite athletes.
Yep. And a lot of our people ask, well, where are they? Why aren't they here? And where are they going to train?
Correct. We don't have that high level of expertise, which is needed to get you to compete amongst the best. We do not. We that's something you just have to admit. We do not have it right now.
Yeah, and I mean that is simply we are a very small, especially in the Olympic world. We are so tiny.
Yes, so tiny, but yet very envied. There are places around the world that would die to have an Olympic committee. You know, even something, let's say something as big as Team USA. Their B teams could probably be bigger than some of our national teams.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so they would love to have that opportunity, but that's the good thing with the IOC.
So one of my favorite times of year in the office is when Team USA is deciding their teams for summer games. Because, you know, a big rule within the Olympic movement is passport. If you have a passport, then you're a resident of wherever that is. So I can tell when Team USA has picked their teams and what sport, because the phone calls I start getting. Oh, hey, so I'm a swimmer. I live in Nebraska, blah, blah, blah. I would like to compete for the Virgin Islands. And I'm like, great. Were you born here? No. Do you have a parent born here? No. I wanted to go on vacation once. And I'm like, oh, no. And, you know, people look at that. And I've actually had NOC members from other countries say this of like, well, don't you guys want more medals? And I was like, yes, but we want them to be Virgin Islanders. We want them to represent us.
Correct.
You know, there was a young lady. I should have looked up her name before I started talking, but now I can't remember. Maybe you know. The young lady who won the gold for Puerto Rico.
Oh, I know who you're talking about in track and field.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she got kind of roasted a bit. She didn't speak Spanish super well. She was raised in the States. Her mom was born in Puerto Rico. But because they were like, she's not Puerto Rican enough. And it was like, no, she, you know, but for Olympic rules, and, you know, a lot of countries do it the same way. If you have a parent that was born there.
Does it extend to grandparents or just the parents?
So it depends on the sport.
Okay.
World Cup soccer, grandparents count.
Okay.
But for the Olympics, and I think it might, I don't know if other countries do it that way, but for Team ISV, it's parent.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, we've had the silver medal fencer from Team USA. His mom.
He was born here.
He was born, you see. So, you know, it's just a lot of it. And, you know, the athlete has to make that decision who they're going to compete for.
You know, I don't envy athletes making that decision.
That's a tough decision.
Because those training facilities for Team USA are too sweet.
Yeah, there are some high schools in the U.S. mainland that have, period, better facilities than the Virgin Islands. High schools, period. Just every facility you could think of for sports, they're top-notch.
Yeah.
They're top-notch.
Yeah. No, so it's a hard decision for an athlete to make.
It is, you know, it is. And, you know, depending on which country you represent, that, too, depends on what you get as a reward.
Yeah, so there was, I had a call from, I can't remember which media, it was one of the big global ones, but they were doing a list of like, and they were like, what does your government give your athletes when they win prizes in Olympic Games? And I'm sorry, but the answer for the Virgin Islands is there's nothing, actually, Senator. So, and that is something that is done by like acts of law.
Correct.
In other countries, but sometimes it's like it's $1 million.
Oh yeah, it's like 6 acres of land. It's like $1 million. It's like, you know, a whole facility named in your honor. This they just national holiday. They shut down the town when these things happen. You know.
Yeah, it's impressive. I actually, honestly, and I had probably been at the Olympic Committee for a good 5 years before I had that phone call. And when that article came out, and we're not the only country sitting at the bottom of the list where like we don't have anything official on the books. But I was like, oh man, wait a second.
That's a good. I'm glad you said that. So now we could.
Okay,
that
all right.
That has my wheels turning now. That has my wheels turning now.
I mean, there's a lot of fun to be had with, you know, how we can honor our athletes.
Do you have that list of the other countries, what they give? Or is it available somewhere?
Yeah,
right?
it was a news article. I can probably find that for you.
Great.
All right, I'll put that on my email list.
Well, what we're going to do now, we're going to take our final break here on VIOC in Action, and we're going to be back with Ms. Brigitte Berry, the office manager for the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee. So we're going to be right back.
Hey, this is Sydney Paul, member of the Virgin Islands National Bowling Team, and you're listening to VIOC in Action.
Hey, this is Clayton Lawrence, the super heavyweight boxer for Team ISV, and you're listening to VIOC in Action.
This is Dr. Jerry Smith, physical therapist with the VI Olympic Committee. To unleash the elite athlete in you, the key ingredients are good nutrition, hard work, and dedication. Give yourself what you need to get in and stay in the game. Tune into VIOC in Action for tips and fun activities to unleash the elite athlete in you.
Hi, this is Peter Holmberg, silver medalist for the Virgin Islands in 1988, and you're listening to VIOC in Action.
Hey, this is Dennis Brown, president of the Virgin Islands Baseball Federation, and you're listening to VIOC in Action.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show, the final segment of VIOC in Action, and this is Athneil Bobby Thomas, and we have Brigitte Berry from the VIOC. So, Brigitte, we were talking about, just the basics of trying to get to these games, and a lot of people think it's, hey, I'm available, I want to go. It's no, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all.
And so, if people still have questions, shoot us an email at the office, NOC. National Olympic Committee, NOC, at virginislandsolympics.org. If you Google us, all of our information comes up. You can shoot us a Facebook message, and someone will get back to you and be able to answer your questions or lead you in the right direction. So the other part about being an athlete isn't just how great your table tennis game is, Bobby, but also your conduct as an athlete. You have to behave yourself.
You have to. That's something that you think would go without saying, because when the work you have to put in to get to that level, the last thing you want to do is embarrass yourself, the Olympic Committee, and the Virgin Islands. Geez, you have to conduct yourself. And a lot of people don't realize that being an athlete, an elite athlete on this level, is a stepping stone for great opportunities in your life. Great opportunities.
Yes. And one of the fun parts about working with the International Olympic Committee for me is that it is a very value-based organization. And so when they are looking at athletes and when they are looking at programs that we're putting together and when they are looking at my request for funding for the Virgin Islands, they're looking for a few things. One of my favorites right now is gender equity. They're looking at Paris 2024 as being 50% male, 50% female athletes. Okay.
And I know they've already had a charge where every sport will have the women, but now they're balancing it out. They're looking to balance it out. Great.
Yes, and and that is really important, because when you're looking at countries that don't allow women to drive, but they need to be looking at their teams, applying for funding. 50-50 women are just getting as much money, as much opportunity as men. That's a really powerful change.
Yeah, that's a big statement for for some of those countries. That's like, whoa.
It really is. It really is. And a lot of countries are moving through it really beautifully. It's really inspirational.
Great.
And we have to do that as well. And I don't mind that at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
So some of the values they're looking at: excellence, respect, friendship, equality, determination, and inspiration. And a lot of those sound fluffy, but think about being rude to reporters.
Correct.
Or having a sloppy social media presence.
Especially today when everything is global. Every post is global. Every comment on social media, it is downright global. The world has access to it.
Yep. And in this arena, you're not just playing in the schoolyard here.
No.
You are global. So you need to be professional.
You
need to be authentic.
You are without question an ambassador for your country.
Yep.
But also for the games.
Yes. And for your sport.
For your sport. I mean, not just for your sport where you live. No. Globally, you're an ambassador for the sport.
Yeah.
So that's the value of sport, the value of these games and competition. It is way more than medaling. Way, way more.
Yeah. And some of it is really subtle. So one of the things that comes up in controversy all the time is doping. Okay, and everybody thinks it is taking a needle and putting steroids in it and injecting it into, I don't even know where you're supposed to put it. Don't look at me. I don't like needles. But so the worldwide doping organization, WADA for short, and you can look this up, has so many rules, okay? When it comes to supplements, additives for your drink, smoothie, whatever, you think you're just doing a muscle boosting thing, that could have something in there that makes you test poorly.
Correct.
Do not come at us and say, oh, it's legal in my country. I'm looking at the legalizing marijuana.
I'm from Colorado, right? So this is good.
Or, I mean, even if, in a year when we can actually legally purchase in the Virgin Islands, that doesn't change anything.
At all.
Anything at all. Okay? So Sudafed is actually my favorite example. Sudafed, completely legal.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had told me this morning that you had taken a Sudafed before the show, I would have been like, okay, I hope you're feeling better. Allergies, mango trees are blooming. That can make you test positive for WADA, and they don't say, oh, I'm sorry, your nose was runny. They go, Bobby, you were doping. You are not participating in table tennis, and we need to do an investigation to see if you're a fit athlete for anything in the future.
Correct.
So I don't care if it's legal where you're from.
And the base of it, I believe, was back in the Olympic Games where track and field athlete. I think it was Ben Johnson. I want to believe it was Ben Johnson.
You're going to know this better than I will.
Yeah, I want to believe it was Ben Johnson. And the Caribbean was celebrating because his family was from the Caribbean, but he was running for Canada, I believe. And it was egg on the face for Canada when he found out that he had any kind of drugs in the system. And they did the right thing. They reacted immediately. Boom, here comes WADA. This worldwide association of people who are, checking for the anti-doping for athletics. So, right there, that's how it started.
Yeah, and, there's a lot involved in it, but everything's available online for our elite athletes. When we're doing game prep, I tell them, if you have stuff you want to check, we do have a doctor who will check it for you, because a lot of those names are 100 million syllables long, and I don't know what they are either. So we have a doctor who will look it up for you and give you advice to make sure that you're doing everything correctly at the time. So, what if you have a heart issue and you need a steroid or something? I am clearly not a doctor based on this example, okay? But you need it. There are medical exemptions. So, for anybody who, even if you were in a car accident and you needed emergency care and some of that stuff would have been on the ban list, there are medical exemptions, there's paperwork, all of that's figure outable.
Yes.
But in that excellence, equality, all of those values, all of that comes into play. Like it all works together. So yeah, becoming an athlete for Team ISV is hard.
It is hard. It is hard.
And not just the sport part.
Right. And it should be because, the standards that the VIOC meets are the same standards of any Olympic committee.
Yep.
You know, and we're being placed on that level, you know, to let everyone know, like, hey, this is hard work.
Mm-hmm.
This is more than games. You know, I always coin when everyone says sports tourism, I say no. John Abramson Jr. said it best. It's sports economics. So
it really is.
It covers way more than tourism. You know, it gets your entire. Look at how St. John looked during that tournament. I mean, you know, the businesses, the people that came and were thanking us, like, guys, put on another tournament next month, please.
Right.
You know?
Oh my God! And that crowd it reminded me of what you see during a good night in the village.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was really good.
Yeah, and there were a whole bunch of us from St. Thomas on those boats.
Yep, and they were sending boats. Not even on the hour, but like on the hour, and then another one right after that.
They did. The ferry company did everything they could to keep up with you guys.
It was great, you know. And like, hey, the being part of the Olympic Committee, I extend to people who are beyond athletes, because what you do, the athletes wouldn't have a chance if there wasn't someone like you making miracles happen. You see what I'm saying?
Just lots of paperwork and emails.
Athletes don't know about that. They're like, all I know is I'm getting on a plane tomorrow. But they don't know what you put in to get them there.
Yeah.
You know, so we need the different levels of volunteers for scoring the games, for keeping track of the stats, for helping the athletes out moving their equipment. It is so much to do.
Taking pretty photos of them so all the rest of us know what's going on when we can't get out from behind our computers.
There is so much to do, you know. So, you know, I encourage everyone all the time, get involved in sport. And I know President Angel Morales is like, hey, we need you. Be part of this. This is a big thing. Be part of it. Get involved. Pick your sport. If you're not an athlete, you know, support the athletes. You know, support getting their information, compiling their data, sending it forward, helping out in any way you can.
Sharing it on social media.
There is so much to do.
So, and we have some stuff coming up. We have the St. Thomas International Regatta, which is another event that operates in the global arena. We often have our silver medalist here for it.
Okay.
And we also have Olympic month. So there will be at least the runs.
At least the run and the beach cleanup for sure.
Yep, and I'll keep you updated on everything else we have going on.
Well, let me remind them while I have this opportunity. Again, Sunday, June 4th, we're going to have the Scramble to San Salvador. That is our annual golf tournament for $500 per team of 4. It's a scramble, as mentioned, $150 per player. Please, 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 please support the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee because this is our main fundraiser for the year. Gold sponsor $6,000, silver sponsor $4,000, and the bronze sponsor is $2,000. But you can also be a whole sponsor for $250 or give a donation towards the raffle. You know, and if you want to be part of this, you can send us an email to NOC@VirginIslandsOlympics.org. That's NOC@VirginIslandsOlympic.org. You want more information about the golf tournament? You can call 340-998-6424 for more information or questions about the tournament. And remember, I got to remind you, all donations to the Virgin Islands Olympic Committee, guess what? We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so your money is going to a very, very honorable institution who has who have the athletes at heart and getting them exposed and being able to participate in mind for sure. So what's the final word from Brigitte on today's show?
Oh, I didn't know I had to summarize this up. It would be two things. It would be, you know, those athletes deserve our respect and praise.
1,000%.
And also, if you are interested in being involved, please do your research. Ask questions, give us a call, listen when you do call. We're not here to be barriers. We are operating on a global stage, and we are here to make sure those standards are upheld.
That's right. So if you want to be part, know that you're going to be a part of an honorable, upstanding organization that has ties around the world, as we are a member of the International Olympic Committee. So know that, and know that we are not just a joke. We are very serious with supporting our athletes, supporting our federations, and getting a global recognition for the VIOC. With that, if you want to contact the VIOC, you can send that email to NOC@VirginIslandsOlympics.org. virginislandsolympics.org. That is NOC at virginislandsolympic.org. We also have a Twitter account, and you can check us out at Team ISV, or you can check out our website at www.virginislandsolympic.org. Sorry, virginislandsolympics.org. There's an S after Virgin Islands and an S after Olympics, virginislandsolympics.org. Also, Facebook, man, you can check us out at facebook.com/Virgin Islands Olympics. We really want you to take a look at what all is going on with the VIOC. Take a look at how you can get involved and support the VIOC. You want to do the little thing? Get a license plate. You want to do something big? Be a gold sponsor for the Olympic Committee or anywhere in between. We could absolutely use it. But this has been Athneil, Bobby Thomas, and Brigitte Berry for VIOC in Action. And we will see you next